Hat battle.
Yeah, Paul representing the bearded dragon on his hat. Aaron representing the Aaron Barich hat.
The birthday cake thing.
I never thought of it.
Aaron gets upset when I call it a birthday cake, so I'm going to do it. I have the microphone right now.
I like it.
Yeah, exactly. It's close.
And this, let's look at the start to the game. Aaron appears to be on a 6-card hand. But we talk about those fast starts. He's on the play with a turn 1 Glistener Elf. He doesn't need much more than that.
Exactly. That is, he's already getting that infect token out.
Yeah, Paul knows it.
Oh, everyone, I mean, the secret's out. The Glistener Elf's on the table. What are you going to do? Go, how are they going to kill me?
Yeah. You know, Paul just hopes that it's not too much damage here. On turn 1, Storm's not going to have any interaction, and he sets up with the Serum Visions. And you see already
crossing good fingers.
On turn 2. Ooh. Here's Might of Old Krosa. That's a 5/5 elf.
Step 1.
Hits in. Is that it? Is that a go?
Ooh. Oh, but that is a slammed.
A slam.
5 poison.
So here's my read on body language. Aaron's got another 4-point in his hand.
Here's my read on exactly Aaron's body language. Aaron doesn't have anything.
He has nothing? All right. Oh, looking like that might be it. You're right. Swings in for 1 more. Paul goes to 6 poison. And this Mishra's Baubles the play. This is something Aaron's trying for the first time this weekend. A full play set of them in the list.
It just kind of helps power out your Become Immenses, which is the most powerful card in your deck.
So powerful that Aaron has 2 of them in his hand.
That's a combo. The first one gets delved to the second one.
Yeah, his hand appears to be Blighted Agent and those Become Immense. On end step, Paul Muller unsubstantiates the Glistener Elf. Really paying some respect there on the timing of that spell.
Exactly. You never want to interact mid-combat with an infect opponent just because they can respond with, say, Blossoming Defense, and it actually gets worse for you.
And with Paul having now a turn of a clear board where he can tap out and make land drops, make board presence, this feels like he might be able to steal the game.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where if there were a time when a combo deck gets to, say, turn the corner, this is it.
And how is this? Remand from Muller. It's a 2 of in his list. This is a matchup where Remand is typically a dead card, but because Aaron's on this 1 land hand, Paul actually gets to get a full turn off the Remand.
Yeah, it looks like Aaron should have considered drawing more lands.
Well, he drew one here. This is Inkmoth Nexus, so he's got the threats, but Paul is Gifts on Giving on end step. Now Aaron's turn to cross fingers, but with Gifts, that's a hard one.
Yeah, oh yeah. Aaron's just going, all right, show me.
Yeah, a lot of times Gift sets up kills that don't introduce any randomness to the equation. It's just going to happen.
Oh, yeah, exactly. The trick here is they want you to think that it's close.
This is the standard combo pile. It is 3 rituals and a Past in Flames.
Hey, Manamorphose is not a ritual yet.
Yeah,
give it a second.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It hasn't matured yet.
It's a fair, honest card. There you go. Look, it's just, you pay 2 mana, you get 2 mana. It's just, it replaces itself.
It ages like a fine wine.
It fixes your colors. But see, in return, you have to expose yourself to spell snares. There's a risk.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so right.
And Aaron going to try to mana deny here. Gives Paul the Past in Flames and the Manamorphose, hoping that Paul has no rituals in his hand.
We call this play the I guess.
Yeah, this I'm playing to some slim lines, but Aaron believes this is the one with the best chance of working. Don't disagree. And I think the counters are going to come into play here.
Time to get some tracking mechanisms.
All right, Storm at 1. See Paul going to lead off with the ritual. It is Manamorphose. I'm going to keep calling it a ritual, even if it's not. I mean, it makes mana. It's an instant.
I don't think I could stop you if I tried.
It's blue and red, cycles through the mana, casts Baral.
Likely drawn right off the Manamorphose.
You might have sequenced them the other way. Here is Desperate Ritual, up to 3 red. We know the Past in Flames is in hand. I don't even think he needs anything more.
Nope. It is deterministic at this point. Yeah,
Past in Flames is spell 4. Let's look at the yard. And Paul's going to point out here's Ritual 1, 2, 3, 4 in the yard. And flashback that gift's ungiven. That'll find a grape shot and will be a win. 1-0 for Paul.
Whew. Kind of an upset there, right? In fact, on the play, also losing.
On the play with a turn 1 Glistener Elf. Now, that's what went right for Aaron and not much else that game.
Yeah, there's kind of a point where you don't want to keep the one-landers, but you have to accept that that's your best odds to win.
If you're playing this matchup and the first 3 cards you see are Might of Old Krosa, Forest, Glistener Elf, are there any 4 cards that can make you ship that?
No.
Okay. If it's like 3 Become Immenses.
And like a Distortion Strike?
Yeah.
I think about it, to be honest.
Okay.
But I still probably keep.
Okay.
It's tough. It's close. But that's assuming the worst case scenario, which it's hard to imagine Aaron actually had the worst possible hand there.
And also, if you know you're against Storm, that probably rounds to a keep. You know, right?
It rounds.
Yeah.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's a 0-1 sort of thing. It rounds.
I appreciate you.
All right, let's look at some sideboards. Things will get a little more interactive between the players here. We'll start on Aaron's side as he's down the game. He has a Descender's Deliverance, a Nature's Claim, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, Grafdigger's Cage, Ravenous Trap, Spellskite, Dismember, Spell Pierce, Dispel, Nisavos Zendikar, a Distortion Strike, and 2 Shaper's Sanctuaries.
This is a real poo-poo platter here.
Okay.
There's a lot going on. The big things that we're looking at are the things that let Aaron interact with the combo. These are your Dispels, the Spell Pierces. You can make a strong case for Ravenous Trap. Grafdigger's Cage turns off Pest and Flames, which is a very big deal. And you could maybe make a case for just that Dismember, just being able to tag one of the bears mid-combo. We saw Paul kind of take a little bit more of a conservative stance there and not open himself up to losing the game in ways that he didn't have to when he wasn't under pressure. But Dismember is likely better than, say, Distortion Strike.
Is there a concern about overboarding here? We see about 5 cards he wants to bring in, or is that just fine?
So there are just a lot of cards that aren't actually very good in the main deck, so we're not very happy about Distortion Strike. Dryad Arbor is not very good. And then you could even make a case for some of the more costly pump spells. If you look at, say, Vines of Vastwood, that's a card that costs 2 mana to give you that +4/+4. It's not actually as good as it would normally be against a quote-unquote normal deck.
Now, Mishra's Bauble, that one just can't come out. That's right?
Probably not. I imagine Aaron is skimping on lands at least a little bit as a result of these cantrips. And especially after getting man-screwed game 1, that's just not how you want to go out.
Yeah. All right, so second game on the way now. Star City Games, we have Game Night. Those are, you can win tokens and sleeves for playing in just your local tournaments all around the country. Go for it.
Oh,
Go for it.
I love Pradokin so much. I'm sorry. Every single time I see it, you just look at its hair and its ears and it's smiling. It is almost as happy to be here as I am.
That's been given away all January. Next month from February will be Yeti, Steady, Go available. And in March, we will have another 3-word phrase. This one's the Vini Vidi Armadici. You can find a game night near you at starcitygames.com/game night.
Very tough boy.
The Sand Warrior. I think it's the armadillo there, probably.
Is that... What is that card from? Is that originally Mirage?
Legends.
Legends? All
yeah.
right. What's the name of the card?
It's Hazazon Tamar, I think.
Bless you.
Yeah. I've hit it in Momir Basic before. It's not that good.
I played Momir once, and I actually hit Phage the first game I played, and I was like, all right, well, we did our best. I'm out.
Yeah, that's like the horror story you hear. I mean, it happens sometimes.
Yeah.
For a while, there was a Momir Basic premiere event every week, and I was all about that. It's a great way to spend an evening.
I mean, if you're just real addicted to rolling dice.
It had a top 8 and everything, you know?
My
it was
gosh.
it was a whole evening of best of 3 matches with top 8.
Is that the kind of thing you brag to your friends about, or
No,
are you
no,
embarrassed to tell them that you played it that long?
I definitely won over 50%, but not too much over 50%. Like 54.
I'm so happy that you got to 5-4 this event, Matthias.
Yeah. That's about, if I played Momir, 5-4 sounds about right.
I've never had anyone brag to me about going 5-4 before, and I'm just glad I could share this with you.
I was slightly better than the coin, okay? And that was over a large number of matches. But not a lot better than the coin.
Listen.
Just a little bit.
I'm pretty sure spending, say 80 hours to prove you're 55% at something is
No,
the
I'm
Magic
claiming
player way.
54.
All right.
Okay, that's whoa. Let's not exaggerate.
Matthias, we have a game going, please.
Both players keeping on 7. Aaron starting with Noble Hierarch and Mishra's Bauble. Correction, actually both taking a mulligan, so it's a 6 each.
This is basically discarding a card for a Dork Momer style.
Oh, you never go for the 1-drop. That's the greediest play.
See, and that Aaron does it though, and that's why Aaron's 8-0. And
I mean, when you hit the 1-drop in Momir, when you hit the mana creature on 1, I mean, it's just
it's so
great.
good.
And here's our Infector. It's Blighted Agent turn 2. Paul will shoot it down with a Lightning Bolt, or at least he'll try to. Aaron going to protect that with Dispel. 2 cards left in hand. And Paul insists. Lightning Bolt for the Blighted Agent. But does he have another land? He does not.
Just good games of Magic all around.
Well, right now, Paul's stuck on 1, but Aaron doesn't have an Infector. So this game's going to spin around for a bit.
It looks like there's a Blighted Agent hiding out in Aaron's hand.
There is. You're right. That's going to be pretty solid. Aaron just shrugs, puts it into play, and
Yes.
and attacks for 1. So he just says, yeah, I don't have anything. He's hoping, no Manamorphose Grape Shot, please.
She is protecting the grove. Uh-oh.
And swinging by Blighted Agent 2, poison onto Paul. And still a pass.
Baral is almost a land. Just like Manamorphose is almost a ritual.
Up to 4. Paul still going for that land. Does Serum Visions find it? I wanted to say, does Aaron have a Spell Pierce? That would just be the rudest.
Top from Paul. You know what that is?
Probably a land. Would you even top a Lightning Bolt here?
No.
I'm off it.
No. Absolutely. Actually, maybe. You can assume Aaron doesn't have a land. You aren't dead, so...
Nah, I'm off it. Actually, he doesn't have anymore. He only has 2. Would he top a Flame Slash? See.
It appears...
Oh, Might of Old Krosa.
One very big Blighted Agent.
The Might of Old Krosa carries that Blighted Agent to victory. So we've had a pair of 1-land mulls to 6. 1 each way.
Close games.
Close one. That one.
Close games.
Paul had 2 Lightning Bolts.
That is
Again,
true.
In this matchup, on 6 on the drop, you give me land 2 Lightning Bolts. I'm keeping.
Oh, that's an easy keep. That is a snap keep.
Yeah.
Every time. How do we upstage how much fun they're having?
This is great, Right? They each got a turn to just kind of do their thing.
Exactly.
The other person didn't even get in the way.
This is nice. Bunch of my favorite people in the SCG Tour on this screen. Judge Eric Dustin Brown back there at a lot of our tournaments.
And apparently, luck running out. Paul said this is his first game loss of the day.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed that he would jinx that right now.
He was actually saying, no, what he was saying, earlier I was talking to him, he said he had played 4 matches and had only won 7 games. He said not only was he undefeated in games, but he also picked up a couple, his opponents were stacking up deck reg errors.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right, he was averaging less than 2 games per round. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I just haven't really played much Magic today.
It must be rough just walking up to tables and being given match points.
Yeah, no, they give you a win, and then you win the first game, and you're like, okay, do it again next round.
Oh, you mean I get to play my combo deck pre-board while they're down a game?
Right.
Oh.
That seems sweet. So, all right, let's look at Paul's sideboard. We did see the 2 Lightning Bolts. I don't believe he has any in the main, so those came in out of the board. I assume in this matchup on Paul's side, you just want anything that can remove a creature.
Yeah, we're looking at the Lightning Bolts, probably the Abrades, and the Flame Slash. You can make a case for some of the other interactive things like Spell Pierce, but for the most part, you also just need to be linear. You don't want to overboard.
What about something like Wipe Away, that when Aaron has one of those turns where he has, the Blossoming Defense and all the pump spells, can Wipe Away blow out Infect in that sense?
It depends how many cards Paul is interested in boarding out for the most part. It is kind of a weaker bounce spell, but it is probably better than something like Repeal.
just because it's the final word on everything.
Exactly, and a lot of times you're just going to be bouncing a Blighted Agent anyway, so if you're having to invest 3 mana into this card, you might as well be positive it's going to resolve. Whereas Repeal, you might just get embarrassed by a protection spell, and then you don't even get to draw your card.
Yeah. Yeah, at 3 mana, though, I understand the concern is that Paul might just want to be winning the game instead.
Exactly, and if you don't think Barich is on any surgical extractions, you're probably really high on the Grape Shot plan here. So that's the point where I'm looking to say cut, Remand, this Empty the Warrens, maybe one of the Bears since they're never going to be dying, the Repeal.
I'm always scared with Storm because with surgical extraction being as popular as it is right now in Modern, I was kind of on the plan of just I board and Empty the Warrens in every matchup just to not get embarrassed.
Sure, it's a little bit less popular in the Infect deck specifically.
Right, it's actually the kind of thing where I wouldn't expect it to be the Infect list, but I don't know if I would be so confident in that expectation to board out Empty.
Right. The issue is it's just so slow.
Do you ever see anything like a Relic of Progenitus out of Infect?
You can see it from time to time, maybe the first copy, but a lot of times you can just play your game in such a way where if you don't quote-unquote just die, then you can eventually just draw into the Grape Shot if you just play kind of conservatively, and Empty is not going to save you from the Blighted Agent or the Ink Moth kills.
And Paul, is that 2 Serum Visions and no second land?
Business as usual.
Wow, okay, well.
Business as usual.
I mean, when you don't drop any games, then, and it rains, it pours. Paul does hit that second land, scry to the top. So he's a turn, giving up the initiative. He's a turn behind now.
I heard Paul only lost 1 game today.
Yeah, I wonder when it was.
Couldn't tell you. My memory's awful.
He'll just pass here on 2 lands. The longer you wait in situations like this, that's just terrifying to do this against Infect. Paul, 2 poison. It feels like he's got to have something here on end step, some sort of instant.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine him just having stone nothing, right? There's a reason he kept the hand.
Yeah, Glistener Health from Aaron. Paul's going to cast Opt.
And he saw that it was good.
You're right, chooses to keep it. In Paul's spot here, it feels like you're hoping that part of Aaron's game plan falls apart. Either he doesn't have the pump spells to kill you next turn, or he doesn't have the counter spells to stop you from winning. If Aaron has both, I don't know there's much Paul can do about it.
No, not at all. And that's kind of the reason that the Infect deck is so nice as well, is you just get to get out ahead on the table and be reactive, whereas Storm has to do both simultaneously.
Yeah, Infect plays really well from ahead. Glistener Elf did take a Lightning Bolt there. Paul will make Goblin Electromancer. And it looks like he's going to try to combo. Goes for a Desperate Ritual, and Aaron dispels.
Really putting the Desperate in Ritual there. Here's
the Inkmoth Nexus. The Swing Exalts for 4 poison. Is there lethal pump? Oh, it looks like it. Here's 4. Here is 6. That is 8 poison with Hexproof. And Aaron Barich goes 9-0 with Infect, giving Paul his first loss and then quickly serving up the second one.
Always been a Glistener Elf fan.